Unfortunately, it took a little while to get COVAX off the ground, open for business, ready to receive resources. And during that time, a number of things happened that then made it difficult for COVAX to execute as intended. But let me just quickly say what COVAX is intended to be. This is a partnership that is led by Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, as well as CEPI, which is the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations that you mentioned earlier, and the World Health Organization, that is intended to do a few things. First of all, it is to pool financial resources across many countries to both procure vaccines for themselves as well as to contribute resources through traditional development assistance channels to purchase vaccines for low and low middle income countries. Secondly, the goal is that it should spread the risk or pool the risk. And by that, what I mean is in the early days of the pandemic response, many companies started COVID vaccine programs. In fact, over 150 entities started to develop COVID vaccines. Nobody knew who was going to be successful. And if you're sitting in a government and trying to decide which vaccine you're going to purchase, it's really hard to make that decision when you don't know what's actually going to be successful or meet your product attributes. And so by putting money into a facility like COVAX, you could get an assurance that whichever vaccine or vaccines met certain criteria, you would get access to some supply. The third goal, perhaps the most important of COVAX, was that there would be some equity in distribution of limited supplies of vaccine, and that all countries, all boats would be raised in parallel up to a point. Then countries with their own resources could go beyond that threshold and procure more vaccines for themselves. That was the idea.